Yeah, sure. All right, welcome
Messy.
back to the 1BC podcast with Nate, KJ, and Matt. I forgot your name for a second. And you know what, team?
Rude.
You know what, team? We did it! Collective bargaining works, and we have the chest back, baby. Hextech
Repressing the
chest
man.
returning this week. I think on the day that the episode comes out. So we did it, team. We made it happen. They're back.
The question is it enough?
Does it matter?
Oh.
That's
Does it
really the
matter? We
question.
got exactly what we want, but do we really want it?
Like, your ex cheated on you, said they weren't coming back, and now they are. Like, do you still want them in your life?
No. Like, they fixed it, but I still remember what you did. I still heard you. I heard you double down on it, too. I heard you triple down on it, too. And then you finally gave up when 15% of your player base left. So, in your analogy, I'll say that we were actually married, and then I took 15% of your income, and now you have a problem with it, and I don't care anymore.
You took the
I mean,
couch
the
and most of the
analogy would
living room
be-
out of the house, and then you brought it back in later on to surprise me, and it was just like, oh, look, it's all back. It's like, okay.
The
still
analogy,
took it
I
in the first
suppose,
place.
would be you're married, and you're saying, you know, that 20% allowance that I'm giving you from my salary, it's just not financially sustainable, so we're not giving you the allowance anymore. And you said, okay, well then I want a divorce and I'm taking 50%. And they're like, okay, maybe 20% is okay now.
Because
That's the
because
analogy.
Numbers of
they
people that
were
left the
giving
game?
us on it was 15%. It was like 15.9, I think.
Well,
In a month.
allegedly. Allegedly.
month.
Riot
Allegedly.
numbers say 15.9.
Yeah. I feel like it was
Which
probably
they're probably
20 to
making
25.
look better than actual.
Yeah.
Because I wonder where those numbers came from. Because, like, I still logged into the client from time to time for this podcast to, like, look at the client and see
I
how
think
it
they look at
changed
games
for, like,
played,
Mel and
though,
stuff.
and probably game time, and not necessarily how long you're in the client.
I mean,
Actually,
that's fair, but I'm just saying, like, Netflix does that with their numbers. If you watch
That's
a movie
true.
on Netflix for, like, when the window pops up, if it plays for something like 10 seconds, that counts as a view. So, I'm just saying.
So here's my thing. Riot was giving us on average like 52 chests a year. Yeah, that's what they said.
that's what the
and
numbers
that's
are
what
suggesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Depending on your skill level, yes.
And now they're giving us up to 60 a year.
Yeah.
Which is the same overcompensation that I predicted last week because it had taken them so long to do so. But they were mentioning how unfinancially stable Hextech chests were before. And now they're giving us more. So either they weren't that unstable for the finances, or they're going to try to take those profits from somewhere else.
Actually, I posted in our Discord shout out this episode. Join our Discord. But
BC Podcast Discord.
Medler commented on that and said that the chests are still unsustainable, but they've decided that they need to find a different way to solve the problem, basically.
Yeah. Or
Which
wean
I
people
think
off
is total
slowly.
BS.
So-
There's
that
no way.
That's concerning to me. I do. If he did actually come out and say that, I would believe him, because my initial take was that a lot of this money wasn't just for the game League of Legends. It's for, like, their whole entertainment industry, and they could be like putting lots of money into a project that is not yet released, and so we don't know why they're in a deficit. So I could believe that if Medler said that. However, the quality control of the products that League is putting out, specifically their skins, is not good at all. And that is my bigger problem with them asking for more money, is like, okay, we're gonna give you less, but we still expect your money.
So they
Okay,
did pull back on that. I don't know if you saw
So
that.
that's
on
what
what?
Alistair and Rel are now gone
Yes,
from the
I did
skin
see that.
pool.
I did see that.
And Darius is being pulled back into visual effects rework because he was doing some Zack animations.
Yeah. So is Mordekaiser.
And Mordekaiser, they are looking at, like,
He got pulled also, and they're getting more music
Yeah,
and
like
stuff added.
from the ground up, they are trying to like rebuild him in order to make it better.
So my problem with the like the Sanctum skins is I understand that they are basically what Ultimate skins used to be,
Mhm.
and I'm okay with the price hike from then till now from like 50 to 250. Okay, cool. But the tier level of those skins needs to be the same. And if I'm expecting DJ Sona to be the bare minimum for every Sanctum skin. And anything else that they add to that should be additional because of the price hike. But if you're giving me Pulsefire Ezreal 3 skins in a row, I'm gonna be upset about it. And like that's what it feels like the Jinx skin, the Set skin, and the Mordekaiser skin all are. DJ Sona clears all 3 of them easily.
Yeah, and I will
That
say,
should be the bare minimum.
I
The
will
other thing with
say,
that is, go ahead, Nate.
well, I'm slightly changing topic, but not really.
Well, I was just gonna say, in regards to that as well, like you are not putting as much care and quality into these skins. Clearly, like it is showing. Ultimate skins, we only have 7, and the game has now been out 15 years,
I think
right?
it's only 6. I think it's only
Is it
6.
6? Because they have the
Um,
Samira one they added recently.
Ezreal, Sona, uh,
Seraphine,
Lux.
Seraphine, Lux, Udyr,
Samira,
Samira.
Misfortune.
Oh, you're right. Misfortune does have one. It is 7. You're right.
Yeah, Misfortune has
Samira was the last one. I
a
forgot
dope
about
one.
her.
Yeah. Yeah, Samira I feel like went way under the radar compared to all
Yeah.
the other ones. But look at that. That's 7 ultimate skins in 15 years. It's roughly every other year we get an ultimate skin because
Mhm.
they work on it and put so much quality into it. And if we're getting skins that are basically on par with those and they're rolling them out like the exalted skins for example, which should be at or like maybe slightly below the level of those skins for potentially how much they cost.
Above.
Okay,
They
above.
should be
There you
at
go,
or
above.
above.
Okay, I was trying to lowball it, but you can say above. So above, because there's the
There's
RNG aspect, right? And it costs more if you have to do like the full RNG. Is that what you're
there's
saying?
no way that you pay $50 for a skin and then spend up to $250 skins for a skin.
Okay.
To me,
The
that's
the
absolutely insane.
the only reason I was lowballing quality more is because the gotcha system. Because inherently, you are not supposed to have to go all the way to the end of the gotcha system to get it. You should like percentage chance get it somewhere along the way. That's
It's
how
like
most gotcha systems.
0.02%. It's
Okay,
like 0.02%.
Yeah,
Jesus
the
Christ. Okay, I didn't know that was how it
Yeah.
worked.
percentage wise, almost everybody is going to be. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but I would assume that they're expecting like 70% of people are going all the way to the safety number.
And
Okay.
there's a 10 at a time button, so like you could do it one at a time, but it's much better and like better for the dopamine to do 10 at a time over and
Okay.
over again.
So then, since the percentage is so low, you should have made it so that these skins come out less often. Because people are
Which is
still
what they're
going to
doing.
try to go for it, yeah. And like spread them out so then you can also have
Which-
quality be better.
Yeah, that brings to the point that I was gonna make is, like, I think what they said in the latest update, what they said outside of the chess is what matters a lot more. Like, the chess coming back was necessary at this point. Like, people clearly said, we're not playing your game if you're not going to give us the chess. So Riot said, okay, we're giving you back the chess. But if they just do that, everyone's like, good. We still don't like you, but at least we got the chess back. But
Yeah.
when they also say that we're delaying the other skins because we're recognizing now, even though we said we're making better skins now, they're recognizing they're actually making trash skins. And they're like, okay, we're going to make better skins now. So we're delaying the skin that we've already announced, and all the other skins are also getting delayed. And then they also said, crap, what was the other thing that they said? That was actually kind of a big deal. And it just went out of the brain, probably because of the big...
They are bringing back your shop, Blue Essence Emporium, and they're also
Yeah.
increasing Clash, which they
Which
had
they
reduced.
never announced canceling, by the way.
Yeah, that's not the other thing that I was thinking. But like
Okay.
they're clearly trying to say like I am hopeful with the most recent update because it could be like they had before that Necrit points out in his video, and Matt said he saw from other sources that Riot is realizing that they're a little bit out of touch with their community again, so they need to recenter and be more in touch with the community. It's
It might be one of
possible
the
that this is an inflection point.
Oh,
it might be one of those things where like I take a couple months break and like let them figure their stuff out, and then we can try talking again afterwards. But it definitely has made me feel, as someone who spends so much money on the game, it has made me feel like my financial contribution is a baked in calculation to Riot.
Yeah.
And that no matter what they were going to do, the whales were always going to be there to support them, regardless of how they treated the rest of the player base.
I had a political comparison, but I'll hold that one back.
I appreciate you.
I will say as well, there is a very large stigma, which is honestly it is true. For our smaller sample size, it is not true, but for the larger audience, it is. Esports in general and video games do not make a ton of money, like period, because people just don't invest in them if the play system or like the sport system is free. They just don't invest in those kind of things. And so I think that's also what led to it is like you can say, oh, rioters didn't understand progression and like having like some sort of gift or thing to work towards on just like level up and playing the game for fun. But at the same time, like they also just don't respect like there's a portion of people that pay, there's a portion of them that don't.
Yeah.
They have made a lot of comments over the last decade or so about how they do not care about their free fan base. Whether it is Mark Merrill directly telling streamers, like, glad you have a career off of our free game, to saying that there was at one point they said they could drop the North American servers altogether and still make just as much money just from China, and they don't care about us. Like, there's been a bunch of comments like that where like they're just
That's
pushing
kinda
their fan
crazy.
base further and further away with stuff like that.
Yeah, you still
Also,
have to make a quality product for the
yeah,
people that don't pay.
the other thing I did want to throw out, because I just looked at it, so the 15.9, 16% of people that left the game, that was actually specifically a solo queue games stat.
Mm.
So that doesn't include the
That
three of
doesn't
us
include
who
the
are
ARAMers.
ARAM boys.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually have been hearing 16 to like 20, 25% of people had actually
Yeah.
left the game. And
That would not
Which
actually surprise me.
the more
like KJ
casual
is saying,
people
he's
probably
playing.
care more about this.
Yeah, and KJ was saying he's been playing with like level 2, level 5 people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which has never happened to us
No.
before. Or if it does, it's because somebody is like duo ARAMing with their
Yeah.
friend, not solo playing a game as a level 2. But yeah, I won't get into that.
The other change that I was thinking of, I remembered, is that they're reducing the blue essence cost of all champions by 50%,
Yes.
which I think is a big
Because
deal.
again, that was their excuse on like rioters don't understand progression.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
rioters just get all champions.
Because I do understand, like, it does make sense, and it's the reason I left. I have never played Path of Exile, because I logged into Path of Exile, even though it's a free-to-play game. I logged in, I looked at the progression, and I said, no thanks, that's way too much, and I left. So, like, it is a real thing that it would be discouraging to new players if all the champions were unlocked. Like, that is not some Riot BS. That's a real thing. But yeah, really reducing the cost by 50% so that people can get the champs much faster, I think it's a good change. And shows that they're making an effort, and it wasn't just a we're sorry about the chess video, but they're like, okay, we're gonna like change some stuff.
Okay, to go with Matt's original analogy, this is definitely a case of I'm glad you've changed, but you're gonna change for someone else because it's not gonna be me. Like they doubled and tripled down way too hard, and like I literally a month ago you could watch the VOD I was, and then they kept doubling down and just made me more and more. It made me feel more just like I said, like my contribution is just baked into their calculations, and that nothing that they were going to do was going to change my addiction to their game and make me stop paying it.
Dude, and it
Yeah.
was sneaky too. It was always like they didn't mention it and like got rid of it in a patch, or like
Yeah.
somebody found out like, oh, the honor system is changing as well. It's like, where's
Yeah, the
the
honor
riot
system thing
phase
didn't come out for
stuff?
like another 2 weeks after that because no one even saw it on the end of the dead post.
Yes.
And then they didn't announce anything about the Your Shop or the Blue Essence Emporium until they announced that they were bringing it back.
Yep. Yeah, it just feels like really weirdly underhanded. Like
Yes.
I get if you have an unsustainable system, that's fine, but you've been running off this unsustainable system for 5 years?
New CEO had different ideas. When he leaves, maybe I'll come back. Or when he stops making these dumbass decisions.
I mean, this often
Or stops
happens.
listening to his development team.
Yeah.
If you have a CEO that develop, like, it doesn't matter what industry it is. If you have a CEO that cared about the product to bring it to market in the first place, they are generally going to be more passionate about making it good than bringing in somebody new that is just trying to make profit for the shareholders. Like, that's just kind of a fact of corporate America, or in this case, I guess corporate China. But
I feel like that's not always the case. Like, not every job is the job if you're passionate about the thing. But finding the right person who is qualified and also passionate about a project,
sure.
I understand is very difficult.
But in the U.S., companies, I mean, Riot is not a publicly traded company, so it's not the same thing here. But CEOs are trained to only care about profit for shareholders because they are legally required to in the United States to only care about profit for shareholders. Like, if they do something that they know is going to provide less profit, they will be sued, and it is illegal for them to do. Like, that's just how our
Yes,
country runs.
but allowing things to stay the same and or finding different avenues that do not take away from your player base is also something that a good CEO or a better
Yeah.
CEO would do.
Yeah, I
You can
mean,
find ways to make things more profitable by making just better stuff that people want to buy.
yeah. Yeah, I mean
bought a
that's the way that they should
$500
do
Ari
it.
skin.
The
I bought
thing
a
is,
$500 Ari skin less than 6 months ago, and now I'm quitting a game.
yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
The problem is
Ugh, gosh.
it does make more sense, and Riot typically understands this. Like, they've said it multiple times, that if you just make something good, then you are investing for the long term. Riot has said
And
that a
they've
lot,
been right.
and
They've been
they've
right.
proven it. But CEOs are trained. I need to make this look good so that I can go to the next company and make more money. Like, I need to turn great profits in the next 5 years so I can leave this company and go to another one. So
I'm
bringing in a new
sure
CEO, it makes sense to me.
losing 16% of your solo
Well,
queue
that's why they
player
had to
base in
put it
your
back.
first month is
Yeah.
crazy.
That's why they had to change it.
Well, and we've
Oops.
we've
Welcome to your
absolutely
first
talked
quarter.
this to death. We've absolutely talked this to death, but like there were so many other avenues you could have taken to actually like sustain the system better. You could have literally just been like, "Hey guys, we're not touching your Hextech chests, but we feel like it's disrespectful to our artists to give away like Ultimate, Mythic, and God, what were the red ones
Legendary.
called? Legendary, and
Yep.
Legendary skins away for free. So
Correct.
we're gonna start still giving you those, but they will now only give you like these level skins and below. Like, okay,
That
that's
is a
fine.
reasonable
Nobody's
change. I would have been 100% fine with.
Yeah.
Yes, and nobody's buying those anyways. Like new players are not buying those skins because they're essentially chromas. A lot of them don't have VFX updates, at
Yeah.
least like proper ones compared to the modern ones.
But
Like,
then if they get
And
a
at
cool
this
skin that
point,
they like for a champion, then they want to buy a better one, they probably will. But at least they have one to use.
exactly.
if Riot had a skin that came out 10 years ago, that skin has made you enough money. You can give it away as a chance to new players. Like,
All
it
legacy
makes
skins are immediately unlocked.
well,
Well, and like, so there's a term that
Well,
we
maybe
use
not all,
for
like not Human Rise and shit like that, but like
yeah, legacy skins are legacy to increase the rarity to some extent. Like, it's kind of a cool thing, but
they come out of the skin
See,
turrets
that's
anyway in the
yeah.
chests.
But
That's
yeah,
the
like
thing though, is
the
like those
chest should not.
legacy skins. People love those legacy skins. Like there's a terminology for trading cards where it's called the chase card, and that's the best one. And there was so many chase skins for people like us, where it's like you get I forget what it's
Like
called, but it's
Alistair.
like yeah, like Alistair or dude, Pax Sivir.
Pax
Like
Sivir, oh my
Pax
god.
Sivir is the
Yeah.
ultimate chase skin out of the chests. Like nobody cared about the ultimate ones as much as like people wanted to get lucky and roll the Pax Sivir out of a Hextech chest. People wanted to get like what was it? It was either black or Unchained Alistair.
Like
There was
Alistair.
like there's like the Bowser Rammus skin.
King Bowser. Or King
Yes, or
Ramus.
King Rammus, like those skins. That's the kind of stuff that like the old farts that aren't like paying as much money, even
Yeah.
though you are not included in that KJ with like your purchases. But
I'm
like people
both.
like me and Nate, like those were the skins we were going for.
Yeah.
Well, and
Like I
it's
said,
it's
I literally got Ultimate Seraphine and I don't like it.
it's
And I never would have bought it, got it for free. Wish I never did.
at this point, Hextech chests are part of the gameplay loop of the game. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just free skins or whatever. Like, it is part of why people play League of Legends. It's been
It's
in the
part of the
game this
progression
long.
system of playing.
You're
Yes.
it's a reward you're getting at the end of the game, and then it's this other mini game that you're playing where you're managing your
Mhm.
loot in the shop there. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're just removing part of the
Or
gameplay
gameplay.
loop of the game that you made. You can
Yeah.
make it you can make it fairer to monetization. You can make it fairer to the artists and all that, but removing it entirely is going to make people upset because it's part of the gameplay loop. Like
Yeah.
it's
And
just
they had what was it, Masterwork chests?
Yep.
Like you already had better chests in the game.
yeah, you already
If
had the
people
big
wanted better
chests.
chests, they were available to buy. You could also buy orbs. If you didn't get what you wanted out of like the season pass, you
Yep.
could buy more orbs.
Yeah.
Like there were avenues to make money. You literally just had to nerf the initial chest system, which I think everybody would have been fine with. Nobody would have really
People would
bricked
have
that.
there would have been some complaints, but it would not have blown up like this. If they
No.
just said, "Hey, the 1350 skins are the best skins you can get in the chest," everybody would be like, "Whoa!" But okay, it
Okay,
blow
that
over
makes
in a
sense.
couple weeks.
Yeah. A couple days. I don't think the cycle would have lasted a week.
Yeah, probably not.
Like I would have been calling people out for being greedy if
Yeah.
people were complaining about it.
Yeah,
If
Like
it
I
was
would have
so
been
you
on
good
have
as
I would
people
have been on
13,
simping
Riot's
for
50
side.
Riot
seconds
a
and
lot
below.
harder.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have been on Riot's side 100% had they initially done that.
Yeah, it's
And then,
like,
like-
if you want a nice skin, buy a nice skin. If you just
Yeah.
want a cool skin, you're getting the cheap skins. It's fine. Like chill.
And then
Yes,
leading
it's still
leading
free.
it-
yeah.
leading into the other aspects, it's like, okay, so honor doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yep.
This was a game that needed the honor system. This
Yeah.
was a game that needed people to have a
The game
reason.
got so much less
be
toxic as
kinder.
the honor system like got more developed.
yeah.
Like
Actually.
we have a friend. We have a friend who is honestly one of like the kindest and most jovial people that we know. But he likes, for some reason, like at least twice a year, to make a mistake in a ranked game, call himself an R word, and get himself chat banned. And like that is the lower level of what I'm talking about. But still, like that dissuades him from doing it all the time. Which is not the toxicity we're talking about here, but like that's literally like the lowest level of how the system does help with the sustainability of the game.
Yo, honestly, bring back the tribunal though. I mean, come on.
Honest dude, I
Look at
love
this.
that.
That was my favorite minigame they ever had in the game. It wasn't even in the game.
Sometimes I was just so bored, and like I would just like be after I got home from work, I'd be like bored. I'd be watching TV, and I'm like, I'm gonna do some tribunal, and just like sit for like 15,
Honestly!
20 minutes, and just click through some stuff.
There were
and, like,
some days
dude,
where I
what?
was like,
it just was like so much good drama.
yeah. There were some days I'm like, I don't have enough time to play a game of League, but I got some time to go on the tribunal. So I just tribunal, you know?
Yep.
Dude,
As
that
a
was
high
so
honor
fun.
person, like it felt really good to do that.
Yeah.
Also, like, yes, they brought it. Like, I'm happy that they brought back the honor system. Okay, I really am. That was another like.
Well, it's not
I don't
fully back though.
understand.
They said they're still phasing it out. It's just back for now.
No, they're revamping it.
Yes, yes. That's what I mean though. Like the way that they said it to me, it
Mhm.
sounded like we're getting rid of it and replacing it with something else. So we'll see what
That's
that ends
fine.
up being as well.
Okay, so like, my issue with them removing it is like you said, there's no incentive for people to be like good people, and rewarding people for doing good not only as an incentive but just like as a hey, you were a good cookie, here's a treat. Like, I feel like that's just a normal thing in video games, and it's weird to give someone stuff and then take it away.
Yeah, you just can't do that. I mean, I've talked about
Yeah.
that on this podcast before. That's a psychological principle. You can't do that. People will
So
always
yeah,
riot.
Also, what's
I
the point in giving me surveys if they don't mean anything?
that
There should have been
I can't wait
questions
till I
on
get
the
a new
survey.
one. I
Yeah.
can't wait till I get the next one. I have a
Oh,
essay
and
for them.
What's my character
kind of to
limit for the
touch,
write-in section?
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of
just
to
gonna copy
touch
paste
on,
this letter.
like we're talking about getting rid of the honor system. We're talking about
Mhm,
quality of skins. We're talking about
mhm.
like how they're changing all these systems for the worse as well. Victorious skins as well. Just feel like again because of like we were talking about the gotcha system and how they were doing too many and the skins didn't look good enough. You're about to start giving away 3 victorious skins a year, and I'm sorry, they are participation skins now.
I think they gave away 3 skins last year. Also,
Did they have to give away 3? I don't know. I haven't
I
played
I want to
ranked.
say they gave away. They had 3 Victoria
I think
as
so.
Either
well.
Because
Sejuani
they
or
were doing
Aatrox was
resets.
the last year that I got a victorious skin, and then I stopped playing ranked,
There was a
and I've been
Sejuani.
much happier.
I think Anivia was one of them. Also, I think those were the 3
Dude,
last year.
unironically, when the news came out that they're adding back Hextech chess, I uninstalled League. I mean, I'm gonna be a weird statistic where I'm an uninstall from that news, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
mine's still just sitting there.
my laptop was full on space, so I had to start uninstalling some games. So I took like
hmm
grounded off the
Hell yeah.
laptop, and I didn't take Baldur's Gate off yet because I didn't know if I would still need that on the laptop. But I was like, I can uninstall League, free up some space. So yeah, now I don't have League on any
Ugh.
computer.
But yeah,
I
I
do
hate the
acknowledge a lot of the.
participation. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say for the Victoria skins, I hate that
Yeah.
it's participation based. Like I used to try to speed run my way into gold every year, and now it's just like, oh yeah, you win like I don't know the exact number, but it's like 30 games,
I think it's 15.
50.
You win 15 games.
It's 15. Bro, I could do that in the first week of any ranked season.
Oh yeah, it's not a
That's
lot of games.
that's disgusting.
It does have to be wins.
That
Yeah,
It's
doesn't
not just
matter.
wins
games,
15 games.
but
Our freaking iron person that we know can probably get 15 wins
should
an entire
we
split.
do a live stream where we don't end the stream until we get the Victoria skins?
It'll
That
be
could be
real
fun.
quick. It'll be real quick.
We could do a ranked flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just get some Victoria skins in one stream.
Honestly, low key with the 3 of us, it'll be real quick. It'll be
Ah,
less than a
I
24-hour
feel like
stream.
I'm pretty trash at the game at this point. Also, I don't want Vanguard on my computer, so it's
Okay.
just not gonna happen.
Dude, we put you on. You pick J4 every game.
J4 or Vi.
KJ picks whatever he wants.
No, Viego, baby. Oh, you can't really see it. It's too dark.
His Viego is pretty clean, actually.
His Viego's
Come on, man.
I'm gonna.
his
I'll-
J4
I'll
is
play-
also really good though.
Yeah. All 3 of them are good.
Yeah,
Honestly.
he's good at the kings and the princes. He's good at royalty.
That's why I play Mordekaiser.
Nope, you're not allowed to play Mordekaiser. I remember that.
That's toxic.
I think I do acknowledge that Riot has made a good course of action now. They made the right decision eventually.
The question is,
But,
what's the
like,
next announcement?
The unwavering faith that I had in Riot's decision making to always put the players first has been broken. And I think that is the issue that I have with them. It's not that I'm like actually disappointed. It's like weird to say about a company, you know what I mean? But like they had built a lot of trust and faith.
Yeah.
And they had put, like, I've been playing this game for so long that it just feels very foreign to the game that I knew.
It's gonna take them some time to rebuild that trust in their player base.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think I'm hopeful. I think that they will, but it depends on what their next few announcements look like. So
yeah,
we'll see. And I think that judging by this update and their reaction, I think they understand that they're on thin ice, and they're probably not going to try to screw us for at least a little bit. So, at least until the MMO comes out and they can get people addicted to that, they're not going to try to screw us again, I would say.
Yeah, but Mark Merrill is deeply enthralled in that project, and with him being the previous CEO that seemed to actually care about the player base, I have more hope for the MMO being more player driven than I do. Even if the trend is for MMOs to be more monetization grabbing than mobile.
I'm just
Yeah.
scared for the finances of the overall company. It's like there just seems to be a withdrawal either by their own doing or from the community's doing of all of their systems. And there's no income from other projects coming in right now. And like we have all this stuff they're working on
I
and none
wouldn't
of
say
it's being
there's
rolled out
no
yet.
income from Valorant.
I would I
Oh,
would
well,
highly
okay,
push back
Valorant,
on
yeah,
the things that they're putting out because TFT has been and is continuing to thrive
Yeah.
and has 3 pods working on 3 sets at all times. And they also have a revival thing where they bring back old sets for you to play with, but with new mechanics.
I
But do you think TFT income has gone up or stayed the same
I over like which period of time?
over like the
Like
last like 6 months?
probably up because Into the Arcane came out and that was their brand new set. They come up with a new set like every 4 or 5 months.
yeah,
Okay, so you have TFT. League is still making money, probably more from Chinese and Koreans than Americans
I think that league's
or
making
Europe.
a lot of money still. I think they're
You-
being dramatic by saying that Hextech chests are unsustainable.
But I think they're also being dramatic because, like I said, they have all these other projects that they're working on. Like they're potentially working on a League MMO.
It's
They're working on a Valorant MMO. They have
UMO, yeah.
2XK. They have 2XKO, which is
Hmm.
being delayed. They have other games in the work. They have their comics. They have 1 to 3 shows that they're currently working on in different stages right now. They have lore teams that they're like going like above and beyond with. They potentially rebuilt and redesigned a new client that just got scrapped. Like there's a lot of projects. There's a lot of bleeding that's happening right now, and I think that's
yeah,
why they're being
but
dramatic.
I the company's got money. It's one of the biggest companies, at least in the gaming sphere. Like they're
I
they're they're not hurting for money. Maybe they're bleeding
I
some money right now, but they're not hurting. They're not hurting for
I
money.
I think the how you're viewing hurting for money, at least from my perspective, is what their income situation is. And I think me and Matt are looking at it from a gross input where they're spending a lot of money. So yes, they are making a lot of money, but because they are spending way more than they were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, then they need more now to maintain the profits that they were making before while also inputting into these other projects as well.
It's cash
It's
flow
like look
statement
at
definitely
Arcane.
doesn't look good, but their balance sheet, I guarantee, is fine. Their balance sheet, like putting it in
Right now.
accounting perspectives, the balance sheet is great. It's fine. Cash flow statement doesn't look great. That's
Because yeah,
all.
I'm thinking like 6 to 8 months before we start getting, like I said, other projects releasing that are going to bring them income. That's what I'm thinking of. Like they may be fine right now, but you're thinking of feeding, like 3 to 7 other projects consistently for the next 6 to 8 months before they start becoming financial successes. Before you
Yeah.
can get sponsors for 2XKO,
But that's
let alone.
investing. They're
I
investing
mean,
in the company.
yeah, but if you invest in too many projects at a time, then that can cause
Yeah.
quality to fail. It can cause entire projects to fail. I mean, we see that with like the movie industry. Like there's dozens, if not like hundreds of movies every year that are just scrapped, put in a
For
vault,
sure.
and never heard from.
But if
So
they
like that
were
can potentially happen with these games.
if it was a five alarm fire at Riot and they needed to make money now, we would be hearing more about 2XKO. Like that game would not be getting delayed. It would not be as quiet as it is. They would be all of a sudden next week you'll hear, "Whoa, 2XKO is coming out in like a month." Like they have ways to make these, like the game's not going to be as polished as it should be. Like it would be concerning if all of a sudden they were like, "Yo, we're pushing out 2XKO. Like come come get the game and get
I-
the skins. But
I think
like,
releasing a bad game is worse than releasing bad quality things on the game that's
you're
already
not
out.
wrong. You're not wrong. But if they're actually hurting for money, that's what they'll do in order to make it work in the short term. And if they're not saying that, then they're not actually hurting for money yet.
Well, what
Like
they're actually doing
they're
is just
definitely
selling out to the
red.
Saudis.
They're definitely who isn't? They're definitely red right now, but I don't think that they're actually hurting. They're just bleeding. Like they're fine.
Yes.
It's fine. There's
They're
there's
not
ways
hurting,
for
they're
them.
just bleeding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
statement.
a painless bleed, you know.
I see.
Okay.
It
Wi-
doesn't
women
bleed
of the
if it
world,
washes away. Okay, bite
women
marks.
of the
been
world, you
taking-
heard it here.
They've been taking the painkillers, also known as loans.
Thank you, KJ.
I was just blowing past that one, just like your comment in the
I
other
was trying to make
video.
a cinematic joke, but I liked yours better.
But yeah, there's no signs that Riot is actually hurting for money. There's just signs that they're cash grabbing right now.
All of the firings would beg to differ.
No, people. It doesn't make sense, but typically people don't get fired because the company needs money. It's because they want money. That's just how it goes. That's. Listen, I've already resisted multiple political talking points today. Okay, don't bait me into another one.
I wasn't trying to. Mine isn't on that. I'm thinking about Riot right now, not rioting.
Oh jeez.
I want to say that my problem isn't, I don't think, with Riot as a whole, because I still really like TFT. And I think that their other IPs will do well, and I will still probably play them and at least check them out. But the decisions at League of Legends specifically are putting a bad taste in my mouth. And I hope that they will actually listen to the developers, because like something that I've noticed has been really prominent in the community, and I want to reinforce. I don't think that it's any of the actual writers, any of the developers, or the skin team, or any of their fault, or they are to blame for putting out low quality things. Any artist has ever wanted to put out something that they didn't think was great.
Right.
And so I would like to directly point this at management teams. Listen to your developers, because they actually know your player base, and their quality equals our contribution. And you cannot have them or us without it.
Well, and credit to the community. In this situation, nobody's been attacking like Pabro and Medler. Like
No,
people
they've
have
been
been very
specific to say
specifically
they are
saying,
just spokespeople.
yeah, people know that they're just the ones that have to take the blame right now. Like
They
the
also have been
community is
doing-
actually doing great right now.
Yeah, they also have been doing a fantastic job at like not just putting out like the dev update videos where they're talking about all this stuff, but also like going on and like answering people's questions and giving them like very
comments
like,
and
well
stuff.
thought out multi-sentence responses to be like, we're also looking into this, or this is a response, or sorry, to clarify, here you go. Like they've been doing a fantastic job. And like a lot of the stuff they're probably getting is not great. But like good on them for having to be like the face of all of this and doing like a very good job with it, in my opinion.
So yeah, little praise for the community for realizing that these spokespeople are not necessarily the problem, and directing your anger and frustration to the right places.
I'm just waiting for next week when they say, go ahead and start pre-ordering the trading card game even though we don't have a distributor yet. We're totally not bleeding for money right now. Please pre-order.
Dude, there's already PSA 10s of the English printed cards on eBay right now.
What?
Yeah.
Ow.
How? Also, isn't everything at this point a PSA 10? Like, it is the best
No.
card you can get, right?
No, because I don't know how most of it works. I've actually been doing a ton of research into grading in general, but most of the time they will have like a base to go off of, where they will not grade something until they have like the ability to do
Like
so.
a sample.
Yes, because if they do, then they are actually liable for if it is like falsified or done improperly or like not correct, they actually have to pay out potentially whatever the person like bought it for. It's a big problem right now, actually, for Pokemon specifically and other
Is that
things.
like fraud? Like a
Yeah,
fraud claim?
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. There was a whole batch of allegedly like alpha, beta, and gamma cards for the Pokemon TCG that were being spread out into the wild that were apparently like PSA 9s and PSA 10s, and they were examined and they were printed in 2024.
Hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah, and those were sold for like collectively millions of dollars.
Oh.
Yeah.
So pending lawsuit?
I'm following right now. It's
Whoops.
an absolute mess, but yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. What else is happening right now?
Well, Matt brought up Pokemon, so I was gonna ask him if he watched the Pokemon Direct that happened earlier this week.
Dude, don't get me started. This is an
You want to talk
entire
about
another
champions in
episode.
ZA?
This is an entire another episode, dude. You
Okay, my
can't get me
bad.
going on this.
I'm sorry.
Wait, we want to tease some Pokemon right now? I haven't. There's more ZA announcements.
So
There's ZA and champions.
they made a new Legends game.
Mhm.
So did you play
Pokemon
the
Legends
last
ZA.
Legend? Yeah, did you play the last one, Nate?
I haven't yet.
So very quick, not to get into spoilers, the last Legends game happens theoretically in the past
Yeah.
of the Gen 4 Sinnoh region.
Yeah.
Um, and you go through an adventure
This
in
next
that
one takes.
like unique region
This next one takes place in the future of my least
of
favorite region so far.
yes, Kalos and X and Y, which again, don't get me started on it because the Japanese and the English versions are better, and I think that's a big reason why the game sucked. But the game happens in the future, and the starters, which they have continued to do, are not native to the region or not the original ones from the game. And so you get to choose between Tepig, Chikorita, or Totodile.
Easy Chikorita.
And if they do the same thing that they did with the other Legends game, the other Legends game gave us unique tertiary evolutions for each one. So Typhlosion is not just a fire type, he's Fire Ghost.
Sick.
Oshawott final evolution, I forget what it's called. It's Oshawott, Daywott, Samurott. Samurott is dark water type, whereas I believe he's normally only water. And then Decidueye, instead of being grass ghost, is actually grass fighting. And they all have like slightly different color alterations, animations, and looks.
Didn't they also get megas also?
No, not
Okay.
in Legends. Legends had no megas whatsoever. This is actually the first game to bring back megas since Let's Go Pikachu. And if you don't count that, X and Y.
Were there Megas in Let's Go Pikachu?
If you finished the game, that was the end game.
Really?
You could go around, yeah, you could go around and collect all the Mega Stones and Mega Evolve your Pokemon in the Let's Go games.
Oh.
Yeah, that's basically the end game.
I
It's
played
pretty
some of the
much
end
just that.
game, but it was like you had to battle the trainer specific. Like if you had a Pikachu, you had to battle the like Pikachu master, and then you could be like a Pikachu master or whatever. That's what I remember from the end game. I didn't ever see any Mega evolutions. I
Yeah,
guess I didn't play it enough.
you can get like 12 of them.
Hmm.
It's like the Aerodactyl, the Pidgeot one, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, Mewtwo. Yeah, there's a bunch in there. But really excited because or specifically I got Pokemon Y around the time I was in high school, maybe leaving high school into college. And apart from Heart Gold Soul Silver, that was like me coming back into the Pokemon franchise, really. And it was a letdown of a game.
Yeah, I hated
So
that one. I just
I'm
played that
excited to
one
see
like
this one.
a couple months ago, and I hated Pokemon X.
Yeah,
Really
there's actually tons of story and dialogue not included in the English version. because
Really?
apparently the Nintendo game developers didn't think American audiences would be interested or read the dialogue, so they just didn't include it.
Okay,
That's wild.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. Budget
Yeah.
cuts. See, until Riot starts doing that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
then we don't have
Yeah.
to worry about it.
I
Unless
mean,
they've
they're
done it
already
already.
reusing assets
Yeah, you're not wrong.
from previous models,
You're
so
not wrong.
Yeah.
That's just normal bullcrap that companies try to pull.
when
See, that's
Project
how-
Mordekaiser is better than Sanuzal.
Yo, they're
Yeah.
fixing that. They're fixing it. He's gonna come back. He's gonna be sexy. He's still gonna have his abs, but he's also gonna have armor. Cope. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
He's not gonna be a
That's my
diaper
sentiment.
baby anymore. It'll be fine.
We'll see. They're still sleeping on the couch.
Sometimes the couch be comfy, you know.
Okay. My bed
No.
be warm.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I have way too much to talk about with that Pokemon game because I
Okay.
have.
That could be next week if you want. Could talk about ZA and then Champions a little bit. Also.
Oh, dude, did you see the other
Yeah,
news
wait.
that
What's
they
champions?
dropped?
What's the other news? What's the other news?
Good, Matt.
Is that the other news that you're talking about that they dropped, where they're making another Pokemon Stadium game,
Yes.
and they are potentially making a trilogy third game for Pokemon Coliseum,
Oh.
which I'm ecstatic about because those games like changed the Pokemon franchise for me. And those are the games that made me want something like Legends Arceus so freaking bad. And the fact that we had to wait so long for something like that to
Pokemon
get it, like
Coliseum, is that the one where you had Umbreon and
Team
Espeon?
Snag'em. Yeah, dude. Team
Dude,
Snag'em.
that game was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I loved that game.
Snatching Pokemon. Oh my god.
Yes.
It was
Okay,
so
and
And then
sick.
like that was like the shadow Pokemon, and then you had to take them to
Yeah.
like Celebi's shrine to purify them.
Yeah,
Dude,
that,
and
But
the
that game
only
was
music-
after
so
they had
cool.
like enough affection for you, like you had to actually use them and like bond
Yes.
with them.
The music was so good in that game.
It was, yeah.
The animations were so jank.
You said
Like
there's
the
gonna be
idle
another
dancing
one?
animations.
That was peak
Apparently.
N64.
Dude, I
Dude, it was
just
so good.
remember I remember the Ludicolo battle very specifically.
Dude, yes.
That one
Mhm,
was
mhm.
so dope.
And there's the guy with like the split colored afro that's just
Yeah,
like dancing in
dude.
the back and
Yeah.
vibing the whole time.
Dude,
You
that game
reminded
was
me of,
such a vibe. It was
Goldfinger
so good.
much. Or what's the I can't think of his name. Like the dumb version of James Gold
Austin Powers,
there we go. Thank you.
Gold member.
gold member.
Whichever
Shave me
one
from
had
my shelf.
whichever one had
Beyonce.
coffee and cream.
Yeah.
That's what that guy's afro reminds me of every time that I see that Lucano episode.
That's also
or
what
fight.
I thought of.
But it seemed like from the trailer that it had some kind of connection to Pokemon Go. So maybe Pokemon that you catch in Pokemon Go you can use in Champions.
They said that. They said somehow it is going to pull data from your Pokemon home, from your
Mhm.
Pokemon home bank. I'm interested to see what that means because
That is
that's where I
interesting.
have all my shinies and my unique legendaries. So
Yeah, so you might actually be able to use that in battles,
yes.
which would be sick.
And that was one of the coolest things because I remember I had for Nintendo 64 as a kid, I had the cartridge that you could put in your controller
Mm-hmm.
that you could then put your Game Boy Colored cartridge into.
Yeah.
And I caught a Masingo and I leveled it up so it was a level 138 Snorlax. And then I traded that to Pokemon Stadium where it became a level 900, 999, and 999 Snorlax with infinite numbers breaking the screen and decimated the game. And I'm pretty sure he's still in my closet on that copy of Pokemon Stadium to this day. I think I just left him on there afterwards.
That's awesome.
So Yeah.
So now you can do it
I'm
again and
stoked with
take him
that.
to the cloud.
Dude, Pokemon Stadium was such
Dude.
a vibe. I loved the mini games in Pokemon Stadium.
They were
I would
so
play
good. That was
those
the
all the
best
time.
part.
I
Yeah.
think
Stadium and
specifically
Stadium 2.
Stadium 2, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. It was so good. Love that stuff.
All right, so that'll be next week, and Nate, I'll send you the link for the direct so that you can watch the trailer.
Yeah, I stopped playing Pokemon after Diamond. Diamond was like the
Diamond
last game
Pearl.
that I played, yeah. And
In
and then
my
I
parents told me that I had to stop playing baby games at Pokemon Sapphire.
sad.
And then I got an emulator and jailbroke my phone in high school and played all of those games.
Admitting to crimes on the podcast now. That's great.
I think my last one was Diamond also.
But I've recently gone back and started playing the game, so I'm on Moon. I think
Oh,
Moon is what I'm
nice.
playing right now. So
Yeah.
Are they actually good storylines that I should like go back and catch up on?
so my favorite Pokemon game that I've played so far, like even including the ones I played as a kid, Pokemon Black is my favorite game I've ever played. I actually love Pokemon Black. That one is
Okay.
fire. So if you stopped on Diamond, getting back in on Pokemon Black is a good idea. Which is also
Okay.
cool because they kind of like tried to reboot Pokemon at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So before you beat the Elite Four, you will only run into Pokemon you've never seen before. They are all brand new. So
Okay.
you're not gonna see a Pikachu, you're not gonna see a Pidgey. They're all brand new Pokemon until you beat the Elite Four.
Cool.
So there's like a whole lot of new stuff that you can find in those games. It's really cool.
It was also one of the coolest things because there's actually a hard mode you can turn on for the game for
Interesting.
adults.
What does it do?
It ups the levels and makes the AI way better for the enemy.
I didn't know that actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you have to beat the game once in order to unlock it. So you
Oh,
can
It's like a new
replay
game
the
plus,
game
basically.
on hard mode.
New
Yeah.
Game Plus.
Okay.
But Black and White are also fantastic because they have a sequel game. You have Black and White 2 after that as well. And
Which
I've
is
heard
it's
like
basically
nothing
like
but fantastic things
yeah,
about them.
I didn't play Black and White 2, but it's essentially supposed to it's essentially like the Crystal version or the Emerald version. It's like the same game but like more complete, like the more complete version. But you
Yeah.
actually like start in a different town. So it is functionally the same area but a different game. Not just like a
Okay.
more complete version of the game. I didn't actually play it, but that's basically what it is.
Before Legends Z to A was announced, people were really hoping, which it could still happen. They haven't released like a new base game, but people were really hoping they were going to have like Black and White 3 or Pokemon Gray come out. But yeah, Heart Gold Soul Silver is also fan freaking tastic. It
I
is
played
not
the original Gold and Silver. Is it any different, or is it just remastered?
so it's remastered, but you can have a buddy Pokemon throughout the whole game. So you can have somebody follow you around like Pikachu, and you can switch it to be whoever you want,
Okay.
which is really cool. You can have a Steelix follow you around if you want.
It's pretty
Like it's
sick.
great. But then there's a bunch of stuff where they put like like an Olympic level event Pokeathlon in there. The battle tower is in there with like a ton of really cool stuff. There is a safari zone in both Johto and Kanto.
Mhm.
And the Kanto one is really cool because if you have a DS that has the slot for a advanced cartridge and a
Mhm.
DS slot, you can put your Game Boy Advance game, so like Pokemon Emerald, you can put your Pokemon Emerald game in, and the only Pokemon you see in the Kanto Safari Zone are the Pokemon that you own in that Pokemon Emerald game.
That's pretty
That's cool.
So you can have like Rayquaza, Groudon, whatever appear in the Safari Zone because they're part of your game.
That's sick.
That's pretty
And that's kind of the way that you like transfer them from game to game. You can get the starters from 3 regions instead of just like Johto, Kanto. You can also get the Hoenn starters as well. Latios and Latias are roaming Pokemon in Kanto, kind of like how you have to catch Entei and Raikou.
Mm-hmm.
You can get Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza naturally in the games because you can actually cross over into a section of Hoenn in a sacred temple, as well as you can catch Mewtwo, Lugia, Ho-Oh. Gosh, there's so much stuff. Yeah, there's a ton.
Basically, all the legendaries that existed at that time.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, and then the Elite Four gets upgraded after you beat it for the first time.
Honestly, I think I've played Silver the most of any Pokemon game. Maybe Sapphire more,
Silver was
but
always my
like Silver
favorite.
was really good.
Yeah.
Silver and Sapphire are probably my top two.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. I think those are pretty much like the best two.
I definitely played Yellow version more than any other game. I played that one a lot. But yeah, my first go around, I think Silver version was my favorite, which
Yeah.
has now been replaced by Black.
Silver, Gold, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. Those are my like 2/3 like most played games.
Yeah.
Yellow was the first one I beat though.
I remember being upset that my brother got Blue version and I got Yellow version because I couldn't dupe Master Balls. I was very upset. Which
Because of
actually
the
now
missing
I
no
know,
glitch.
yeah, because of the missing no glitch. Which now I
Yeah.
know that there's a whole bunch of different glitches that you can do in Yellow version. But at the time, I was like, I'm gonna do the duping Master Ball glitch. Come on! And then it was always annoying when you accidentally duped your bike, because then it was impossible to like move the bike off because you had a whole bunch of bikes. So you tried to move it, and then you just fill your bag with bikes because they didn't stack. That's when you reset the game. You try again. You haven't
Yeah.
lived until you've duped bikes in Blue version, you know?
No, I just would always every time I played Pokemon Yellow, I'd get Pikachu, and then as fast as possible I would go to or what was it? Not Lavender Town. Where's the Pokemon Tower at?
Lavender.
Oh, that is Lavender.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I would do the Mew glitch that happens right outside the city, so you could get Mew to appear. You just walk in front of somebody that's right by the
Oh,
underground
yeah.
tunnel,
Yeah.
hit pause, fly back to Lavender Town, walk out of the city, and Mew appears.
Yeah, I've never done the glitch, but I've seen it. Like that's the way
Yeah.
that you. There was always the like playground rumor of you gotta black out of the SSN, which I literally always did. I would
Yeah.
always black out there just in case I was ever gonna figure out the Mew glitch.
Yeah.
And then you're
Well,
supposed to like use strength on the truck that's there, which obviously doesn't actually work.
Yeah.
So I
Or
never
like
did a
there was
proper Mew glitch. I've never caught Mew. Never have.
Really?
Yeah, never have. Sad.
I don't think I've ever caught a Mew either.
It made me sad because if you ever get Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, if you have on your Switch, they started doing this for the most recent games. I think it started with Sword and Shield. If you have data from other Pokemon games on your Switch, they'll give you free Pokemon.
Hmm.
So if you play Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl and you have any Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee data on your Switch, there's a lady that just gives you a Mew for free.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually have.
And it's like restart the game and just go grab another Mew. Transfer it to Pokemon Home.
Sword already, and I have Shining Pearl. So I have both of those, and I've played Let's Go Pikachu already. So
yeah,
I've got
you
those waiting in the background there. Once I
There's
finish.
there's
Blue
a
and-
lady in like a flower field, or there's a couple old ladies. If you talk to one of them, they'll give you a Mew for free. And then I think Sword and Shield data gives you a Jirachi for free, and you just go talk to her friend next to her.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, boyos. Feels like a pod.
I think so. We're gonna play some Pokemon.
It's Pokemon time. We're all gonna go play some Pokemon Black after this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Tell us what your favorite Pokemon game is, and tell us if you trust Riot. There's a lot A lot we
Shadow
talked
Lugia?
about in this episode, actually.
It's my Shadow Lugia.
Is he gonna sing to me?
I got all my Pokemon stuff on my desk, but
Okay, thanks for joining us. Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the 1BC podcast. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future videos.